basketball.
It's time to strap in and get ready. The Insight NBA team is in the arena, bringing you the ultimate play-by-play on who's hot and who's not to help you win your leagues and dominate your mates. You're now hooping with your hosts, Matty G, Skiddy, and Mally for the Insight NBA show.
G'day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Insight Fantasy Sports Podcast. I am your host, Skiddy IFS, and today I am joined by a very special guest because we are previewing the Dallas Mavericks. And yes, you may recognize this man from the Insight NFL show. And no, it's not Supercoach Guns, but it is a man that is a Luca-holic, and he has Luca-itis. That's right, it's the NFL Maverick. G'day, mate, how are you?
Mate, I'm pumped. My first NBA podcast. First one with you, first one in the NBA. All things Mavs, I'm all about it, mate. So this is my forte.
When we thought about it, mate, we're going, all right, we're going to have to get a couple of other guys to come in and help us with these previews and everything like that. And I'm like, well, there's only one man that's going to be able to come in here and help us with the Dallas Mavericks. We'll get a Luca sexual in, and that's you, mate. So let's get absolutely stuck into this. It's been a while, and this is the first time that me and you've been running a pod together. So worlds colliding here. Loving that. But as we said, we are previewing the Dallas Mavericks. So let's get stuck straight into it, and we'll see who did Dallas acquire and who did they piss off from their team last year. And I'll tell you what, Maverick, we've got a couple of spicy ones here.
Yeah, the Klay Thompson edition for me is probably the one. We'll get into him a bit later on in terms of what this is going to mean for the rest of the fellas. But all in all, mate, I think this one's probably the most exciting. If we can get some sort of half of prime Klay Thompson, then we're laughing. So, look, even the other additions are fine too. It's championship building moves. As I said, Mavs went to the finals last year, so it's moves to win now. So,
yeah, that's right. So they were 50 and 32 during the regular season last year. And then obviously, as you said, they made the NBA finals, got bowled over by the Boston Celtics, who I think we all thought they were probably the best team. But I like what the Mavs did. And they went out and got bench depth. They went and acquired Spencer Dinwiddie to come back. They traded Tim Hardaway Jr.'s 2 and 11 each game to be able to bring in Quentin Grimes and a bit more defense. And then they bring in a shit ton of defense in Najee Marshall, who was the exact replacement for Derek Jones Jr. Are you more on the side of you're happy with Najee coming in and pissing off Derek, or would you have preferred to have kept Derek Jones Jr.?
No, I think Derek Jones Jr. shooting towards the end, as in like he was red hot against Oklahoma, but then he went real cold quick. So Najee gives him a better look, more of a defensive, solid look. He's a better defender, as I said, but offensively he can actually drive into the paint and create his own shot too off the bounce. And shooting wise, he's not too bad either. So he's probably a slightly bit better than Derek Jones Jr. in terms of shooting the ball. So.
Agreed there. And the thing that I'm always going to say is when you're playing with Luka Doncic, you're obviously going to be a better three-point shooter. So Najee will be just sitting there practicing, just putting up shots. It's like PJ Washington, you know what I mean? Just keep putting up threes, mate. We don't need much else. Just keep putting up threes.
Yeah, and it's going to be a really simple game. It's a really simple game.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's hope we get Klay Thompson's obviously going to shoot a lot of threes, but let's just hope that he hits them and doesn't go, 0 for 11 that he was in that last game for Golden State?
Yeah. It was rough. It was a rough ending, but look, he's going to open up the floor for everyone else, just based off him being elite in that category in itself. So I'm excited.
Big time. I like that too, but we got to quickly talk about the outs as well. Obviously, we know how I feel about Tim Hardaway Jr. I think this is a great upgrade getting in Quentin Grimes from Detroit. Derek Jones Jr. is gone, but also Josh Green goes to Charlotte. Any love for fellow Australian Josh Green?
Yeah, I love Josh Green. It's sad to see him go. He's gone to the Hornets now to play some meaningless basketball for the next 3 years probably. But I love his toughness, his aggression, loose balls, 1%ers. He wasn't a bad shooter. The shot was a bit flat, so he wouldn't get those lucky bounces. But all in all, he played hard. In the finals, he's actually playing really well and probably deserved more minutes. I thought he was the one that really stood out between outside of Luka and Kyrie. He was probably that third option that really stood out for me. But, well, look, he's gone. So be it. But hopefully we can do one step better next year and win the whole thing.
Yeah, he may just rot on the bench in Charlotte instead of Dallas this year. So good for him. But one thing that's not going to be rotting on the bench, Maverick, that is the standard squeeze. And they've been our day ones. And if you like the 4-in-1s that you can get here to keep your beer cold and keep your coffee warm, then go on over to the standard squeeze and use code IFS15 to save yourself a bit of cash off your next order. They do some absolute ripping stuff. And I'll tell you what, they've been around with us for so long, it's just second nature now, really.
Yeah. Look, I just care about my beer being cold. I don't drink coffee, but that's my most important thing for me. It does the job, so...
And I'll tell you what, that is a bloody important thing. And they're bringing today the Dallas Mavericks starting five. And this is what you reckon, Maverick, is going to be the starting five for the Dallas Mavericks this year. We've got point guard or shooting guard, whatever you want to say, whichever way. But it's Luka and Kyrie. Then it's Klay Thompson, PJ Washington Jr., and Derek Lively III at center. Talk to me about it.
Mate, his playoff run was magical, in my opinion. He was really the difference between them being good and them being elite. He's rebound numbers, his second chance opportunities. Could we see him stretch out the floor this year? He hit one in the NBA Finals. Could we see it? I've been watching him all year, taking shots pre-game. Could he just extend that out just a little bit and be a little bit like a 30% 3-point shooter on limited opportunity?
Okay. Yep.
But just to stretch it out and keep him on the floor a bit longer, I think he can. The form looks good.
Okay, well, if you're telling me that there's a chance that he can shoot threes, then yeah, I'll put him above Gafford. I've still got Gafford above him for now. I just feel like it's, in saying that, the man did hit, 28 straight shots or something like that. Yeah. So obviously he's got the continuity with Luka and Kyrie. So I just think I've got more faith that it's going to be Gafford. But is it going to be a minute split? Because it was a minute split last year.
Could be, yeah. I think it's going to be probably Lively getting about 28 to 30 minutes a game and then Gafford getting the rest. It's a bit of a luxury to have Gafford coming off the bench if that's the case, because he's very, very solid as a backup center if that's the case. It's pretty rough. He's probably starting caliber around the league anywhere else. Well, most teams.
Yeah. I would have to agree there. And then also, too, though, if he does come off the bench, you've now brought back in Spencer Dinwiddie from the Lakers come back to Dallas. And he has continuity already with Gafford from their days in Washington together. So there is that. That is a very valid point. I like that from you.
Yeah, so Dinwiddie coming back, he knows the system as well. He's played there a couple of years ago. He probably should never have went to the Lakers in the first place. Fuck the Lakers.
Yes.
But he should never have gone there. He had an opportunity to go to the Mavs or the Lakers, fucked up royally, went to the Lakers, and then goes, I made the wrong choice. I need to come back.
And that's the decision he's now made to make. And hopefully he's welcomed back in open arms, Spencer Dinwiddie. So, all right, where would you be taking – okay, would you take Gafford or would you take Lively first in a draft scenario? Because – to me, it's like, I don't really care who's starting and who's not. I want to know who's getting the bulk of the minutes. We know that they're both going to do the exact same thing. Rebounds, blocks, high field goal percentage. Lively's a worse free throw shooter, but they're not getting any. But he's also a better. Well, they haven't ran the same steals, but they're also not getting assists, and they're both not getting very good free throw percentage and low turnovers. Where do you go?
I go more Lively because of the upside, right? He's younger. Okay. And I truly believe that this guy has potential to, probably average 12 rebounds a game if he gets the minutes. Maybe even, between 11 and 12, I reckon. You saw in the playoffs, man, he did it pretty much nearly every game. He made Chet his little bitch. But yes, I would definitely go down the path of Lively over Gafford. And he's going around 90-ish, 80, 90-ish in drafts at the moment, Lively. I think that's a good price.
Yeah, I think he's going around that, and then Gafford's around the same. There's a point in the draft around the 90s where a few of these centers come flying off the board in quick succession, and it's namely Lively, Gafford, Capella kind of areas. So, I mean, I don't know about it. I like the upside of Lively, but I feel like I like Gafford's ability that his free throws don't hurt as much as Lively's, because we did see a bit of Hacker Lively, and it was 50%. That is,
yeah. And look, he needs to sit in the off season and just work on those all day, because he was just catching the ball and shooting it at one point because he just didn't want to think about it. So look, when I draft in the 80s, 90s, 100s, something around there, I look for upside at that point, right? Okay. So I look at guys who have the ability to go to that next step, and Lively, in my opinion, could probably do that. And he could, if he turns into a top 60 center, or top 60 overall player, that's where you get your value, right?
Yep. No, you're 100% right there. Just quickly as well, Dan Gafford was actually 39th per game last season and 31st overall. But we will touch a bit on that a bit later. But one other guy I just want to quickly talk to you about, and it's a guy that is going in the last round of drafts, PJ Washington Jr. I don't understand why he's going so late, but I like that he's going so late. He was 136th last season. He played 73 games and he was the 111th ranked player, 30 minutes a night. But he was a lot better when he went to Dallas. He ended up being, I think it was top 80, top 90. I think he was in the 80s after he moved to Dallas. I can definitely see a scenario where he is the third option on this team if Klay's having off nights.
Absolutely. Yep. And he has those random 30-point explosive nights come out of nowhere. And you go, Jesus, he's hit 7 threes. What's going on? He just goes off. But he's a pretty good player inside. Like, he can, again, off the bounce. If he's the pick setter, he can roll. I like what he can do in all different facets of his game. And if you're getting him in the hundreds, man, that's good value. And like stocks-wise, he contributes.
Bingo. I don't think he hurts. Like, his free throw percentage is bad, but it's not like something where he's getting like 8 free throws a game or anything like that. It's not enough to truly hurt. 8 a week. It's not like he's truly hurting you there. But yeah, the steals and the blocks is what's really appealing to me for PJ, along with his ability to be able to get some rebounds, but he can also shoot threes around that 13-point mark. I'm 100% agreeing with you there, mate. And but here's the big one. We know that you identify as Lucas sexual. So let's get stuck into our team top. NFL Maverick, Matty, how high are you going to draft this man, Luka Doncic, this year?
He doesn't fall out of my top 3. There's no way he falls out of my top 3. Yeah, I don't care about free throw percentage when I play fantasy NBA. Yeah. I punt on that anyway. It's the turnovers he needs to cut down on. That's easily done. But this guy averages like 34 points a game last year. I think next year he might average the triple-double. I mean, he was very close this year. But I think next year he stays in shape early and he averages that triple-double. It's about time this guy goes to that next level and wins that MVP. He's been very close a few times now, but it is Luka Doncic season. He is my MVP tip for this year. If you're punting on him, put money on him. But no, he goes top 3 for sure, man. I would take him outside the top 3 for sure.
So you would be going Wemby, Jokic, top 2, and then Luka at 3?
Yeah.
And so you're comfortable. Pretty rough. Yeah, so you're comfortable with taking Luka over SGA?
Yeah.
I'm actually coming around to that as well. I've said that a couple of times where I think the gap between SGA and Luka is not actually as large as a lot of people are making it out to be, because Shea was so significantly good in steals, and then also he averaged a block as a guard, really bumped him up a lot. Like 2 steals a game is going to inflate. It's like we saw with DeJounte Murray a couple of years ago when he was in San Antonio, and he averaged those 2 games and he finished 7th overall. It's the same thing with Shea. The one query I have with Luka is Luka Doncic, if you look right here, oh, sorry, I actually didn't put it down. But as you can see, 33.9 points, 9.2 rebounds, 9.8 assists, 4.1 triples. The 1.4 steals are higher than what he had normally done. But I like how the free throw has come up. Near 50% field goal shooting. But Matty, can he maintain 37 minutes a night? That is outrageous.
Yeah, I think he does. He's still young, man. Still young.
He played
I
Olympics.
don't,
Oh, not really.
yeah. Oh, well, he played the qualifiers, but
Yeah.
no, he definitely can. He's still young. He's not like in his 30s yet. The 1.4 steals a game, don't get alarmed by it. He doesn't play on-ball defense, but he plays the passing lanes well.
That is true. Hey, he's
so-
also got Najee Marshall now as well, because like the point of attack defender was Derek Jones Jr. for majority of it last season, but now it's going to be Najee. I think that can actually open up to maintain the steals that he had.
So he's 78% free throw for me as well. If that slightly increases, he's going to average 35 a game.
Yeah, absolutely, because he takes a shitload of them. The problem is that he has historically not been a very good free throw shooter, and it's been on extremely high free throw accumulation. So when we look at what he had last season, so he had 78% from the free throw line on 8.7 attempts a game. The previous year, he was at 74, and then 74, and then the year before that, he was at 73. So he bumped it up. No, it was 73, 74.4, then 74.2, and now 78.6. So almost plateaued for 2 years. But yeah, he has gotten better. But if he can get that over that 800 mark, then yeah, absolutely. We're seeing almost 34 and a half if the minutes stay at 37.
Yeah, and they will. They have to, man. Like, they have to. Unless they start blowing out teams.
Oh, okay. Okay, right. Just in case they start building teams by too much and they need Luka to sit for a bit. Yeah. Gotcha. Hopefully they play the Wizards 50 times in the year. And now we quickly roll on to our Ready to Rise player, Matty. And we've already spoken about it a little bit, but... Your opportunity. That was more about the minute split between Lively and Gafford. I want to know now, where do you see the game evolving from Derek Lively? Because he had 8.8 points per game. Now, granted, this is only in 23.5 minutes per game. Obviously, because when Gafford came over, they minute split it pretty hard. But yeah, 8.8 points per game. 6.9 rebounds per game, only the 1.6 assists, but that's okay. But the main reason that we're going for him, points, rebounds, steals at 0.7, blocks at 1.4, field goal percentage, 74.7. Now, there's no goddamn way in hell you're going to tell me that that's going to maintain.
No, it's not. It's not. If we're talking if he's ready to rise, he's going to rise in every other category except the field goal percentage.
Okay,
I think next year he'll average a double-double. So I think he'll rise in points, and I think he'll rise in rebounds. And by rebounds, he averaged 6.9 rebounds per game. As I said earlier, I think they can go to 11 to 12. So that's almost 4 or 5 boards extra per game. So that's probably
I'm pretty certain if you're saying that he's going to average 11, that would sit him in top 5 for rebounds per game next season.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
That high. Jeez. Okay, I think it's reaching a little, but I'll sit at 9 if he gets those minutes. Sorry, if he gets the minutes, though. Gafford's there. That's my problem.
Yes. Yeah. And look, as a rim protector, his 1.4 blocks per game is a potential to rise. If he's getting more minutes, that number could go up. I don't know how much it can go up by, but maybe between 1.4 and 2 blocks per game could be possible. Anywhere between that.
The good thing about it is that the Mavs kind of tunnel their defense towards Lively and Gafford and PJ Washington at the rim for rim protection. So I can see that being about maintaining. We would love to see Derek, please, if you're watching, mate, and I know you love the show, but mate, you got to get that free throw percentage up.
Yeah.
50.6 is just comically low for a guy that's paid to do this. Come on, Shaggerbags. Come on. That
has to improve. Yeah. It has to be the focal point of his off-season is working on his free throw shooting because, as you said previously, the Hacker Live League was real.
Yeah, and he is not dominant enough to be Shaq level bad at free throws. All right,
no.
he has to be better than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see where it comes up. And and if you guys missed a little bit earlier, Matty said that there is a chance that he reckons that Lively could open and space the floor a bit with either deep 2s or 3s. If that happens, then that is something that Gafford cannot do because we have seen Gafford attempt to be a shooter, and that is an absolute no-no. So if Lively can do that, then yeah, I'm definitely giving a bit more of a nudge Lively's way than I am over Gafford, and I'm in on him being ready to rise. Yeah. Matty, quickly though, if you guys are struggling with your draft board and you want to see where like-minded people have it on their draft board, why don't you have a gander at our big draft day kit? That's mine, Mally's, Matrix, and Matty G's draft board. Mate, even if you ask nicely, you could probably even get Mavericks draft board as well, and he can give you a little bit of how you goings on that. It's only $30 on Patreon. You can click the link down in the description. It's over 220 players, points of reference, and you get all the good stuff in one area. All the stuff that we couldn't find, we had to go to different areas to be able to get it. It's all in one spot. So go ahead, click on the link, and get your big draft day kit. Matty, how about if we do a little bit of a ADP battle, mate?
That's naughty.
Ooh. Yes, that's right. We are going to have an ADP battle with 2 point guards around the same area of the draft, but can be a little bit different in the way that they are providing. Matty, here's an option for you, mate. Let's say Trey slides a little bit. I'm going to give pick 15 this year in the draft. Trey Young, Kyrie Irving are sitting there. Which way are you leading?
As much as I want to go down my path of Kyrie Irving, I can't. I'm taking Trey Young. Okay. Based off volume alone. Now, this guy is going to be the man at Atlanta. He's going to chuck up all sorts of crap next year. He's going to handle the ball. There's no DeJounte Murray, and it's all through Trey Young. So,
yes.
A couple of years ago, he was a top 5 player, wasn't he? A borderline top 5 player?
Yes. He was, I believe you are right. He was top 5 2 years ago before DeJounte Murray got there. That was overall he was 4th in 2021-2022 season. Per game, he was 11th.
Yeah, so I'm taking that upside in Trey Young. If you're taking him at pick 15, he's a possible top 5 player, possibly. That's where you get your value from him. As good as Kyrie is and as efficient as he is,
yes,
a safe option for efficiency. But I want to get numbers up, man. I don't care about free throw percentage and turnovers. I punt that anyway. I just want the numbers.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Like, I agree with you. I'm taking Trey before I take Kyrie. Now, if Kyrie didn't have Luka alongside him, then maybe I could be convinced to go alongside Kyrie to be able to get the usage up. But Trey's usage is just going to be absolute sky high. And the point that I always see of Trey is we're going to bump him up a little bit more just because of the fact that his assist numbers are going to be so goddamn high. He'll be up there with Tyrese Halliburton with assists. Yeah. So that's why I go him. The only reasonable argument that I can see for Kyrie is that Trey's percentages do hurt a lot.
Yeah. Kyrie
was extremely solid. 25.6 points per game, which sounds outrageous for Kyrie at his age, but that's what he did. 5 rebounds, 5.2 assists, 3 threes a game, 1.3 steals. He still averaged half a block as well per game, but nearly 500 from the field, Matty, and 90 from the free throw line. Now, that's where you can make your bread and butter with Kyrie's percentages.
Yeah, so I don't know what his 3-point percentage was, but he would have been close to that 50, 40, 90 mark.
Shit, you're making me do extra work, but carry on.
But yeah, no, efficiency is Kyrie's game, right? He's the smoothest player you ever see play. Or one of anyway, should I say. So yeah, I mean, Kyrie Irving's a safe option. You know he's going to average 25 a game or round about the mark, and you know he's going to shoot good numbers. So look, if you want to go past Trey Young and take a safer option, Kyrie's your man.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. If you want to go for a safer option, it's Kyrie. If you want to go for the bigger, more outlandish counting stats and go for the big assist numbers, then you go Trey Young. And to answer your question, Matty, Kyrie last year was 49.7% from the field. He was 41.1% from 3, and he was 90.5% from the free throw line. So he missed by 0.3.
So close. That's what I mean.
You're right, though. Dirty from a guard.
Yeah. And not even the main guard, might I add. Luka's the main guard.
100% right. That is, It's bloody right. But yeah, I think it's still close. As you said, though, if you want safe, you're going to go Kyrie. If you want to go a bit more outlandish, which I think most people will, it's going to be Trae Young just because of that. But, Matty, let's get stuck into the best of the rest. You're simply the best. Yes, these are the guys that will be coming off of the bench for the Dallas Mavericks. And these are the guys that you've identified me. As you said, it can go either way. It can be either Gafford or Lively. And then we're bringing in Quentin Grimes from Detroit, Najee Marshall from the New Orleans Pelicans, and Spencer Dinwiddie from the Lakers back to the Mavericks. The other notable guys, you could say Dante Exum, but with Spencer back, you could probably chop and change with those. Where do you kind of see the bench guys coming in?
So Quentin Grimes is probably the one that's most intriguing going into this season. They love his defense, his on-ball defense, and they love his outside shooting. Now, he's playing for a better team than he has been in the previous years. He played for the Knicks in his first time round, and they were pretty average at the time, and then Detroit, who were just a basket case. But Quentin Grimes, for me, could be, I don't know, could he see 20 minutes, 25 minutes a game and be efficient on those numbers?
It would be tough because you'd be playing. That means you'd be banking on rest from either Kyrie or Luka to be able to get Grimes in there. He's a little bit undersized. I think that the first guy off bench, pretty much in every single situation, will be Najee Marshall, and then the other one of Gafford or Lively. That's where I think, because Najee can play. Najee can play 2 to 4 easily.
Yeah.
So he can
even play small ball 5 if you need to.
Oh, if you need to, but I think it's more or less. I think they could, but I think it's going to be. You've already got PJ, Lively, Gafford, so you've already got viable options there if need be.
Yeah, no, that's spot on, mate. Look, I also don't mind the shout of Spencer Dinwiddie as well as a real late streaming option at times. Okay. If there's any injuries that come up with Luka or Kyrie, this guy's inserted straight away, and he's just a spark plug, in my opinion.
Yep.
The amount of dunks that he had when he played for the Mavs the last time around was insane, man. He had like 2 game winners back-to-back games. Yeah, he just knows. He just knows the system. Experienced head.
Though, who were the game winners were against Brooklyn and someone else, weren't they? Because it was against his old team in Brooklyn. That was Cash, and I can't remember who else, but maybe it was. But yeah, they were. Actually, I think it was. I think you're right. I think it was a back-to-back Brooklyn versus Boston.
Maybe,
yeah. Outrageous either way. But I think it would take both Luka and Kyrie to be able to have time off to be able to make Dinwiddie a streaming option. Do you think that, okay, let's say for instance, we've got a random December game. Luka's sitting. Who would you take as being the guy that you would have a crack on for the Dallas Mavericks?
Yeah, probably Spencer Dinwiddie, if I'm being honest. It probably would be. Yeah. As much as I like Grimes, he's very limited. He probably can't run the offense as such. But, well, from what I know anyway, Dinwiddie has done it in the past. He was pretty much nearly an all-star at one point. Maybe even been an all-star. I can't remember. No. Quentin Grimes is very limited, but I like what he can bring. And I want to see what he can do. So I need to see it before I believe it. But Spencer Dinwiddie would be the one man for me.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. If it's going to be anyone, I mean, there's Kyrie still there ball handling, but Dallas do like the double ball handler roles. Dinwiddie will probably get increased role. Yeah, it might be Najee Marshall getting more of the minutes. They slide Klay down to the 2. I can definitely see that being an option as well. But I think even in that case, I would prefer to have a shot on Dinwiddie being the better fantasy option than Najee Marshall just standing in the corner and hoping that he gets maybe 1 or 2 steals. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Ready? Well, Matty, that's going to do it for us, mate. It's nearly hit the half an hour mark, but that's been fantastic, mate. Could not be more happier for you jumping in here and talking the Dallas Mavericks with me, mate. Tell us what's going on the NFL show over at Insight NFL.
Well, we're starting our season very shortly, mate. The season starts next week. The interest is sky high. Leagues are pumping. Drafts are happening. We've got our draft boards that are coming in soon as well. And mate, it's just amazing what's happening, mate. We're first year in, so the love is very much real for us at the moment, and I do appreciate it. So Yeah, whenever you get a chance, tune into our show Mondays, Thursdays. That'd be great.
Bloody oath, Matty. Hey, I love the show. I sit down and watch it sometimes. And I can't get enough of you guys. And I actually, now I know a little bit about NFL from someone that had absolutely no idea. So I'm getting there, mate. I don't think I'm ready for any drafts yet. But either way, if I do, I'll be hitting you up straight away. That's for certain. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining the Insight Fantasy Sports podcast tonight. As we said again, if you would like, in the link in the description, the big draft board, you can go ahead and grab some of that. It's always a great time. You've got 4 analysts of work to be able to put into that, and it's just awesome work. Remember, thank you very much to our day ones, the Standard Squeeze. Use promo code IFS15 to get 15% off your next order. And also a big shout out to our man, Ryan from Astute Newstead. Text him at any time you want. Use promo code Insight, and he'll be able to get it, mate. He's done my work for me. He's been an absolute gem. Links in description for that. All those boys. Thank you very much for joining me, Maverick. I very much appreciate it. Let's hope that the Luka Doncic bet comes through. I'm pretty sure he's paying about $5 for MVP, like he is every single preseason. But we'll still have a crack anyway. But thank you very much, guys. All the best.